Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the For Future Mothers podcast. I'm so excited to have Keeley here, who is a personal fitness extraordinaire and has her own athletics company, as well as a myriad of other things, so many hats that this mompreneur is wearing, to share some information about nutrition before childbirth, during pregnancy, and after childbirth, as well as some fitness tips. So let's just start off with Keeley. Tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Like you said, I am focused on postpartum health. That is my number one goal. After I had my son in 2019, I realized that the things I was doing before just don't work anymore. And I had to figure out a new way to train my body. Even though I worked out my entire pregnancy, my body was completely new. And that has been my focus ever since, because I just felt like there's not enough information out there for mothers, for people going into pregnancy, pregnant, or after birth. Also in 2020, I had my second child, which is Kinetics Wear, which you are wearing, and I appreciate it. Yes. This is black ice and blue ice. Yes.
Got the leggings here too.
3-piece set. Yeah.
Yes.
But I birthed that child because I realized how much what I wore affected my mood and my self-esteem, even before I had a child, but especially during the pandemic, being at home, not being in a gym environment or a workout environment. What could I change? I could change what I wore. That's why I started Kinetics Wear.
I love it. And the detail on this is amazing. Like I was telling Keeley, I love this patterns. I just want to make sure I can see this, the patterning on this and the thoughtfulness of it. Oh my gosh. And it has a little thumb holes. Love it. I'm going to put these thumb holes on right now. The whole vibe. Go with it. So there's so much there, because what you said about people not generally knowing how to take care of themselves before pregnancy.
Yes.
I mean, at times people aren't fully conscious of it's not always planned. An ideal world is planned, but it's not always the case.
Exactly.
But it just generally is good to have a good nutrition, workout. Yeah. But life can be so stressful. So what's some tips that you have for women, who are, they may not be planning a pregnancy, but just in case, these are some things they really should stay on top of.
For sure. And that is a great reason to always stay prepared, because sometimes surprises happen and you don't know when you're going to get pregnant. Even when you're trying, you don't know when it's going to happen. Like you said, keeping your nutrition on track and not necessarily dieting, but focus on eating whole foods, drinking enough water. Sleep is a big one, and that's going to help with recovering from stress. If your body's in a state of stress all day and then you're not getting any sleep, you're never recovering. You especially want to sleep. If you're exercising 3 to 4 times a week, I highly recommend 3 to 4 times a week at least. Doing the thing you love, not necessarily lifting or not necessarily cardio, but something you can stick with, and it'll become a habit and it just becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
And as far as stress management, I love meditating. I got really into meditation. And when I say meditate, I can probably do 5 minutes. My mind goes everywhere, right? But picking a good meditation program that works for you, there's a lot of free options. I have a Peloton, and it's on the Peloton app. So figuring out how to manage your stress before you have children, I think is a golden key to success in life, in motherhood, in general.
Yeah. So nutrition, sleep, exercise, and meditation, or just kind of stress management, mental health, all of those things, super important. And I said mental health, and your eyes lit up.
Because it's very important. Like I said, once you have a child, your life is going to change more than you could ever imagine. And on top of mental health and meditation, you also want to make sure you have someone that you can talk to, whether that's a professional or a trusted friend or your spouse, someone that you can vent to, get some things off your mind. Not necessarily they fix it for you, but you just feel it's a cathartic exercise of just getting it off of your plate, out into the world and outside of your body.
Yeah, and feeling connected, right?
Yes.
That you're not in this by yourself, because part of the whole process, whether you're getting pregnant, you are pregnant, or after, it can feel very isolating.
Yes. 100%, especially if you had a baby during the pandemic.
And you had yours right before
he turned 1, and the pandemic started. So being at home all the time, making sure that we're FaceTiming everybody, making sure I just step outside, even though we couldn't really go anywhere. We took advantage of taking him to the park, letting him run around, being outdoors. that kind of thing. But like you said, staying connected with people, your friends, your family, because a lot of times after we have a baby, mothers will think that no one understands their point of view, and they won't seek out help. And I highly encourage that you seek out help before you get pregnant. Find that support group. But if you have to wait, that's fine too. There are a lot of mom groups. They're not all stay-at-home mom groups. That was one of my preconceived notions that, okay, all the moms, they don't work. But that's not true. A lot of moms work and still need support, and they still need other moms to talk to, even though they're speaking to other adults during the day.
Right.
It's different talking
It's
to moms.
a different type of talk.
Yes.
Mom talk is very different, and being able to speak to people about like what's going on in your body, what emotions are coming off. You know, I think hormones tend to get a bad rap, right? But like it's what we are. We have hormones. They do different things. The more we know about how hormones are influencing us during different times of the month, after childbirth, everything, the better. Like just being more educated.
Exactly.
But because we aren't generally educated very well, we feel very like I imagine to be very protective about like what it is that we're experiencing and not wanting to be judged.
Yes.
But you talk to some moms and they're like, listen, that was 3 months of my life.
That was 6 months of my life was hormones.
Right, exactly. It's just I didn't know what was gonna happen next. I didn't know what was gonna come out of my mouth. I was trying meditation. It works sometimes. You know, I've heard all of it, and it's just natural, right? And just having somebody, I think during that time say, hey, this is natural. It feels frustrating. It's tough. It feels isolating, but really, you're doing great.
Exactly. Just having someone to remind you how great you are and that you are doing your best, and that's the best that you can do. And I did want to touch on, you said hormones. Our cycle as a woman is different than a man's. Men are typically on a 24-hour cycle. They wake up in the morning, their bodies start and they end at night, and that's that. We're more on a 26, 28-day cycle of hormones, and I won't get into that cycle, but you're going to act different throughout the month, and that's okay because of your hormones, and it's natural, and you're not going to always be on, but you know those weeks that you're on, really be on, and when you're not, rest.
Right. We have the 4 phases, you know, throughout of our cycle throughout the month.
Yes.
And during those phases, we need to rest. Our body's telling us to rest. And I think that touches on how to prepare before childbirth, right?
Yes.
Knowing your cycles and like knowing how you feel and honoring how you feel in different times in the month.
Yes.
Right? That helps after childbirth as well.
Oh my goodness, your cycle is going to be haywire after you have a child, especially if you breastfeed. And I didn't know that either. A lot of times women will lose their period while they're breastfeeding, or it'll be very faint. It's very different. Your hormones are changing. There are night sweats. There's all kinds of things going on while you're breastfeeding, and I breastfed for 6 months. So I was kind of in this locked in phase, and you have to also be very careful not to get pregnant again during this phase. That's very common while women are breastfeeding, because their cycle kind of disappears and you don't feel the same feelings you would before you had a baby. So you don't really know when you're ovulating unless you strategically track it.
And knowing about that before childbirth.
Yes, 100%. And you specifically want to know if you're going to breastfeed after having your baby, because your hormones will kind of be in a locked-in phase. You'll come home, you'll probably have night sweats and other things going on. You're probably going to lose your baby hairs. Just FYI, they come back. But understanding that your body's kind of in a locked cycle, and you need to be very cautious about not getting pregnant again if that's not in your plans, because your cycle will kind of disappear or go on pause, and you won't have the natural 26, 28-day cycle that you previously had. So you will need to be very strategic about if you do have a period, tracking it, and just tracking every 28 to 26 days to understand what days you're probably going to be more fertile than not. And once you stop breastfeeding, your period will return, but it may not be the same that it was before you had a baby. Maybe you only had a 3-day cycle before, and now it's more like 7. And that's going to continue to change, especially if you choose to have another child again. So.
Right, yeah, and I can imagine it's very hard to track all that while taking care of a baby.
An infant.
Right, yeah.
Yes, it is very difficult, and this is why you need people around you. You need a village, you need help. And you need to feel comfortable asking for help. A lot of moms don't feel comfortable asking for help because they feel like they need to be able to do it all themselves. And I think that's just subliminal messaging from outside sources saying, oh, you're a superhero, you're this, you're that. Like, I'm all about soft life.
Yeah.
I don't need to be a superhero. I'm
Right.
good with just being a good mom to my child. And if I need help to raise my child, then I need help.
Yeah.
And I'm okay asking for it.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important, asking for help. I think the other side of that conversation that I often hear is well, sometimes good help is hard to find. So
It
how do you
is.
find like trustworthy help?
It
you
is.
know?
And when I say help, that doesn't necessarily mean delegating the baby to someone. It could be, I'm taking care of the baby. I have a housekeeper come once a week, once a month. That makes me feel better. I have my spouse or my mother or someone watch the child while I go get my hair done.
Right.
Even simple things like that to just make you feel like yourself and not just mom all the time.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's so important about like knowing that you don't have to do everything.
No, ma'am.
You're not going to be a bad mom
No, ma'am.
or a bad spouse, bad
No.
partner by choosing not to do everything.
No.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to also a part of our society of kind of make us feel like if we don't have everything figured out, if we're not doing everything perfectly, then shame on you. You deserve bad judgment. And it's like, listen, we're all human.
Yes.
And I think it's good to remind women who just had babies, you just developed a whole human inside of you that you are indeed human too. Caring for the mom, so mom can better care for the baby.
Exactly.
No, I appreciate this whole conversation, especially about hormones. Hormones and nutrition now just come to my mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, are there certain foods that we should be eating before childbirth or getting pregnant to help, or like what should we keep in mind?
So I'm not a big proponent of superfoods or there being that one thing that you need to do. That feels very Dr. Oz to me. The food of
Definitely,
the week, right?
he definitely moved our society more towards like, superfoods, and I have to eat this acai bowls. I would be cancer free.
Exactly.
If I
This
had acai bowls.
one thing, and everything is connected, and there's so much more to it than a superfood. I will say, choose to shop the perimeter of the grocery store if you can. Anything, the less packaging, the better. Eating whole foods. If you eat meat, that's great. Choose the best cut that you can. If you don't eat meat, that's great too. Do what's best for your body. Try not to avoid whole food groups unless, like I said, you don't eat meat.
Right.
But vegetables, fruits, grains are fine with me. Like, figuring out what works best for you is always the solution. The solution usually is not outside of you.
Right, and you're saying that when like keto is big right now, paleo is
Yes, it is.
like, and you feel it's like, okay, I have to do a keto, like, because sometimes it's hard to lose the weight, right? And I know because you lost so much weight, you became, and this you didn't put in your bio. I'm telling you, like so many. So you and I'm gonna let you tell the story because basically you went from overweight to a bikini bodybuilder.
Yes, I did. Okay, so I'll tell the story.
And she is not superhuman. She just told you before.
I am
not.
I am not.
So yes, tell us more about that.
Okay, so I'll start from college. I was overweight. And when I say overweight, I was probably 20, 30 pounds overweight. I was not extremely large, but I was uncomfortable in my body and in my skin. And I gained, it was just happy weight. I was in a relationship in college. I was happy. And then we broke up. And then I internalized it. I did. No one told me. And I said he broke up with me because I had gained weight. No one said that. I made it up in my mind, and I said, you know what? I can pick up a spoon or I can pick up a dumbbell. And I picked up a dumbbell and I started going to the gym. And 2-3 months go by, people notice, oh, what have you been doing? You look good. That goes on for a year, and that's when I got certified as a personal trainer. And from there, I started teaching group fitness classes. I love doing that. People still asking, what do you do? What do you do? I started training people online, and when I say online, this was before it was common. Right. It was the wild, wild west of fitness at this point. So I was training people online, and I eventually got asked to do a fitness shoot. I did a fitness shoot just for my branding. And then I met someone on the set that was a bodybuilder, and she introduced me to the concept because I didn't know anything about that world. And when it's its own world. They speak their own language. And I tried it. I said, you know what? I'll give it a try. And you touched on paleo. I actually did Whole30 and paleo back then, right before I started competing. So I've done the diets, and that's why I feel the way I feel about dieting. But back to my journey. I did bikini bodybuilding and I won my first show, and I think that messed my head up.
That's incredible, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I competed in the Lee Haney competition here in Atlanta, and I won first place in my little height group.
Yes, you did.
and then there's a whole journey with that, right?
Yeah.
So after you compete, you know, you've been starving, and now there's a huge rebound after competing. But yes, I did go from overweight to bikini bodybuilder.
Wow. And what I love about your story is how you turn that pain into purpose, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you know, you interpreted that as, I'm going to improve this aspect of my life.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
Whether that was really it or not, who knows?
Who knows?
But that's how you took it. And I also love the fact that you really highlight the story you told yourself, because I think it's really important that we know that sometimes we tell ourselves stories about things,
Yes.
but it's not actually the truth of what's going on.
Exactly.
But you turned your pain into purpose, right? So, I mean, because out of that, then, you know, you have a clothing company. You were the bikini bodybuilding champion in Atlanta. Like, that's incredible, you know?
You.
So, and now, you know, you're here and you're developing your company and you have your baby and you're sharing this information. I just love how you just kind of took us on this little journey right there. So nutrition, so you're very specific about nutrition.
Yes.
It's really just kind of like eating a healthy diet, right?
Do what's best for you. The first thing I tell my clients is, we're just going to track what you already eat. I'm not going to put you on a plan. I'm not going to take this and that, because I need to understand what you're already doing so that we can successfully change your habits. If I just tell you what to do, you're only going to do it while we're working together, and you're not going to learn anything.
Right.
So that is my entire philosophy, is taking what you already do, substitute where we can, and make the most of what's already there.
Yeah, so it's not just, okay, you're doing this right now, but it's like, this is a lifestyle change.
Yes.
So you don't really need me.
No, I don't want to train you
3
for
years
the
from
next,
now.
Yes.
I don't need, we can just say hi, we can chit chat, but
yes.
like it encourages more independence and really educating people so that they can have more control over their health.
Yes.
So I think that's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. I do not need codependency.
Yeah. And it's also, so I also love businesses of integrity, because you know, there's so many businesses that kind of want to drag you along.
Yeah.
They don't really want to see you independent and knowing what you're doing.
Yes.
And in that way, you know, a lot of people are really being misserved and usually told some sort of lies that they kind of need other people.
Yeah.
When you're in a vulnerable space, you're more likely to believe it because you're feeling vulnerable, and I mean, it's just human nature.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have fitness instructors who are like, hey, I want to tell you everything to make sure that you got this for life.
Yes, and it's okay if you need to come back, because sometimes, like I was telling you earlier, I gained weight during the pandemic. Like, we all rebound, ebb and flow, and go through these processes. And even if you learn all the habits, it was only 12 weeks together, right? Like, you may, in 2 years, you're like, hey, I've fallen off the wagon. I need to train again. That's perfectly fine. My intent is not to keep you for the next 2 years because you need me and you can't do it on your own.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was nutrition, and we touched on it. So how do you feel about keto? Because and you touched on paleo, but I'd love to know what you think about keto, because that's also a big one.
I despise it. I despise it. I think it's doing your body a disservice. I don't know all the science behind it, but I know I didn't need to do it to lose weight. I've never had anyone else that I've trained do it to lose weight, and I just personally do not like it. And there are people like my mother-in-law tried it and lost weight, and it works. I'm not saying it does not work. I don't care for it because I don't think it's sustainable. That's all.
Yeah, and that's something I've definitely heard before. I mean, usually when people do it, they do it for a certain stint of time.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And then kind of slowly bring carbs back in, certain types of carbs back into it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your brain needs carbs.
Body needs carbs. You need energy, a source of energy. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So so we talked about nutrition, and nutrition is really important. Exercise is also
very important.
And so I wonder, the different exercises that you suggest.
Yeah.
Prenatal, during pregnancy, postnatal.
100%. Prenatal, explore what you like doing. Figure out what you like to do, something you're willing to stick with, and that will help you create the habit of just working out in general. Explore. I'm not a proponent of you need to do X, Y, and Z to look this way, because I don't know how you want to look. Some people want to lose weight, some people want to gain weight. So based off what you want your body to look like, those are the type of exercises you should try prenatal.
Mm-hmm.
While you're pregnant, whatever you've already exposed your body to is safe to do in the first and second trimester.
Okay.
So if you were a runner, keep running. If you lifted weights, keep lifting weights. If you did yoga, whatever you tried before is safe to do. Walking is always 100% safe. Even if you never exercised before pregnancy, take long 30-minute walks every day, at least. Move your body in some kind of way.
Okay.
After you've had the baby, and let me preface this, the third trimester, because I skipped over it. You just don't want to lay on your back. Your baby will lay on a nerve and you'll get lightheaded. So no laying on your back, but anything that you were doing before that was upright or sitting, perfectly fine.
Right.
And always consult your doctor before as well. But usually safe. And then postpartum, your body, you may or may not develop diastasis recti, which is just ab separation. Your uterus went from the size of an orange to a watermelon, and then it's going back down. Your abs need to separate to make room for the baby, but sometimes they just don't come back together naturally, and that's totally normal. If that is happening, and you can do a finger test, you lie down, lift your chin, and check to see if there's a split between your abs. You want to avoid crunches, planks, sit-ups, and even pull-ups if you were doing pull-ups. I know we don't like to do upper body, but if you were doing them, you'll feel a sharp pain in that area. You want to avoid that until you start to close the gap.
Okay.
So you'll want to focus on deep belly breathing is my baby. That's my favorite thing to teach, because it helps with stress, and it's also an exercise that you can do after delivery, as soon as you've had the baby. Your inhale through your nose, expand your stomach, relax your pelvic floor, hold for a count of 2, and then exhale through your mouth, pushing your abs back together and squeezing your pelvic floor.
Why don't we try this together? Because this also touches on the meditation, right? Like, this is a technique that you can use to enter meditation, to remain in meditation. So just for everybody, we're going to practice this meditation.
On the spot,
okay.
on the spot. Okay. So we're going to inhale through our nose. We're going to expand our stomach and relax our pelvic floor. Some people don't know how to relax their pelvic floor. So while you're using the restroom, if you stop yourself, that's squeezing your pelvic floor. And then when you relax to let it go again, that's relaxing your pelvic floor. We're going to hold for a count of 2, and then we're going to exhale through our mouth, push our stomach in, and squeeze our pelvic floor, okay?
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, inhale. Good.
And I'm squeezing my pelvic floor while I'm doing
When you push out, it's kind of like a balloon, right? When you inhale, you expand the balloon. When you exhale, you squeeze all the air out.
Yeah, and because when I exhale to go in, and then like everything is kind of pulling up too, right? Okay.
Yes. Good.
That was
good.
nice.
Let's do it one more time. 3, 2, 1, inhale. Good. Really good. I hope you do it with us.
Yes. And if not, pause this and do that, because you just feel calmer.
Yes.
You feel calmer.
Yes.
It just really helped clear an area in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm saying an area in my brain. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna say this right here, this specific area. I was just like, it just felt like a tension release.
Yeah, it is.
It's
very
nice.
calming. It brings you into the moment. It's awesome to do while you're waiting, like while you're driving or while you're waiting in line in the grocery store or whatever. Like first thing in the morning, I recommend people are like, when should I do it? How often should I do it? At least once a day for 60 seconds. That's 3 to 5 breaths. You want to go very slow. Good way to start your day. Good way to end your day. Good way to just try and bring it back. If you need a 3, 2, 1, I need to calm down.
Right.
Take some deep breaths.
Presence bring you back into your own life.
Yes.
Because there's so many things going on, whether you're doing your career, you're taking care of your baby, the relationships that you're managing. It is so easy to feel like pieces of you are here, and you're trying to connect the dots.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. 100%. Yes. Right now. My life.
Too. I feel like this is the thing. People I talk to, it's just what we're in. And pregnancy really pulls your attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it really calls for you to really recognize what's going on in your body.
Yeah.
It's very easy not to do that, right? Because of society.
Yeah.
But like what I really liked about this meditation was kind of bring you back in.
Yes.
And allow you to even enjoy the process. of everything that's
good.
going on. Yeah.
It literally feels good to do.
Yeah. No, I felt amazing. I was like, oh, I'm just lighter and calmer. So thank you so much for sharing that with everybody.
Of course.
So that's like, so the importance of exercise. I don't know if there were some techniques or some certain exercises that you also want to share.
Yes. So deep belly breathing, vacuum breathing, which is after the exhale, you want to draw your belly button to your spine and hold for a 2 count.
Okay.
And that's really going to work your transverse abdominis. It's literally a corset. It's a natural corset, and I know you wanted to touch on waist trainers.
Yes. So I asked you to talk about waist trainers. Waist trainers are so huge and controversial.
Yes.
So I would love, first tell us about that, and then we'll try the second exercise, the vacuum.
Okay. So my first exposure to waist trainers was while I was bodybuilding, because I had never heard of these contraptions, and I was like, what is this? And corsets and waist trainers are 2 different things. The corsets have the hooks. Waist trainers are usually Velcro, but they still send you in, tighten and tuck everything. I am not a fan of either one because they allow your core to remain weak. And usually when I speak to women, they have back problems, so they wear the waist trainer or corset to help support their back. But if they actually train their abs, they wouldn't need it. So I'm not a fan. I don't judge people that wear them. That is your prerogative. It is not my body. I do not care for them. Now, they are different also from a faja. I believe that's how you say it. After pregnancy, that's more like a sleeve. That's not, there's no hooks, there's none of that. And that's perfect after you've had the baby, just to make you feel better. But as far as a corset or a waist trainer, not a fan.
Okay.
I prefer you strengthen your core.
And I mean, there's been some, controversy about what it does inside.
And in moving your organs as well. I don't know the science. I can't speak to the science of it. I just don't prefer waist trainers.
Well, it's good to know. Know. So we have this vacuum breathing.
Yes. Okay. The vacuum. Okay. So it's kind of, you want to think about it like you're trying to jump into some jeans. Like that's the kind of pull you're doing.
That's my life. I know that one. This leg.
The tucking, yes. So after you exhale, we're going to breathe like normal. We're just going to inhale, exhale. After you've exhaled, then we're going to pull our belly button to our spine, hold for a 1-2, and relax and breathe.
Okay.
So we're going to inhale, exhale like normal, and then we're going to pull that stomach in, hold for a 1-2 count, and relax. Okay? So 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay? We'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. And relax.
That is so simple, and yet
I
think a part of me was thinking, is there more to
No.
It's so simple.
Yes.
And yet, really makes a huge difference.
Yes.
I want to do it again. Let's do it again.
Okay, let's do it again. 3, 2, 1.
I love
Relax.
it. The simplicity of that is amazing because you can do that anywhere.
Yes, that's why I teach it.
It's so good too, and even after we did those 3 times, I actually feel a difference. I'm more aware of that area in my body, and
Yes.
That's so good.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
And these exercises, again, because they can be done anywhere, you can be. I imagine you could be breastfeeding and you can do it.
Yes, 100%. Anywhere.
That's lovely. I love that. I love it. We have so much to do and just doing things like little tips and tricks, little hacks.
Yes.
I'm cooking dinner for everybody. And then with the first exercise, what was really cool was the focusing on the pelvic floor, right? Because the pelvic floor has worked so hard during this entire process.
Yes.
So connecting to that and helping build that is so important too.
And helping with incontinence and all of that. Yes, because incontinence is not something you have to suffer from after having a baby. Just FYI. I know it's very common.
It's common. I think people think, I also thought it just kind of came with the territory.
No, that's not true. It's usually a pelvic floor issue, and there's 2 phases with the pelvic floor. Either you try it through exercise on your own, or you go see a physical therapist. Those are your options. And 9 times out of 10, especially if you go see a physical therapist, you can repair it. so that it is not an issue
Right.
anymore. While it's happening though, I do encourage women to wear black leggings. Let the instructor know that you need to modify. Usually when your pelvic floor is weak and you are leaking, it's from jumping or sneezing, coughing, laughing.
Right.
Things that you can't control that put a lot of pressure on your pelvic floor. Tell the instructor you need to modify it. You don't need to tell them why. And also limiting liquids before class so that you don't have anything to leak during class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then now I'm thinking all the way through because I'm thinking, okay, what if you need to drink water during class?
That's fine.
So during class, it's just before
just
the
don't
class.
drink a lot. Don't drink 20 gallons before you go to class, and then
Yes. Because I'm definitely a class, like even in being in your class, I have to drink on water to keep me going through the class. I need to sip on some water, and I'm like, okay, wait, don't do that. Just keeping that in mind in case that's ever an issue. But no, that makes sense. So don't really overdo it, right? With all the water, to make sure that you don't have any. But so what are some, like we just did that exercise, right, to help with the pelvic floor, like bring attention to it. What are some other things that women can do to prepare their body?
Okay.
Or just have it part of the things that they always do just to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Specifically for the pelvic floor.
Most of the exercises on my Instagram and YouTube are postpartum safe, but they're anyone can do them. So you don't have to wait till you're postpartum to do them. They're just safe enough for women to do them after they've had
this
a
is
baby.
Workouts by Keeley.
Yes,
by the way,
Workouts
on
by
Instagram.
Keeley. Yes, go check
it
that out.
Yes.
I have an entire guide that has exercises, especially for diastasis recti or for pelvic floor health, but like bird dogs. Literally just posted a video today about knee drops. So you lay on your back with your knees up and you let your knee drop from side to side with your foot down, and that works your hips and your pelvic floor and your transverse abdominis as well. So it's more about exercises where your upper body is relaxed and you're working your legs.
Yeah.
Because after you've had a baby, you can't drive because even while you're driving, you're using your core, and a lot of people don't think of it like that.
Right.
So any exercise where your upper body is relaxed, head is relaxed, and your knees or your legs are doing the work are going to work that transverse abdominis and your pelvic floor.
Right, because it's been going through so much, it's probably really hard to.
Yes.
This is the recovery time, right?
Yes.
And I feel like I don't know yet, but I feel like 6 weeks is not enough.
It's not enough. So I had an emergency cesarean. I didn't say that. I had an emergency cesarean, so my mental state after having a baby, even though I worked out, it didn't go like I planned.
Right.
I worked out my entire pregnancy, lifting, cardio, my normal routine, all the things that I could do. And then I had an emergency C-section. And I'm gonna be honest, I had put another story in my head. I was like, my stomach's never gonna be flat again because I had a cesarean. That's a story I told myself. And that's really how I deep dove into, all right, what exercises are safe? I was doing research before, but after the cesarean, I was like, there's gotta be something. That's how I stumbled upon deep belly breathing. That's how I stumbled upon the vacuums, because I did have the incision, and there were things that I would do, and you could feel a sharp pain or a tug on that area where the incision was. So that's why I'm like, no crunches, no planks, none of that stuff, because it's tearing you apart.
And how long would you say it took you to recover from the C-section?
I was cleared at 8 weeks by my doctor. I would say 16 weeks is when I finally felt like, okay, I can do this, and it doesn't, it's not a sharp pain.
So about 4 months.
Yes.
Right? So you went through the fourth trimester, fourth trimester, and extra.
Yes.
Month. Yeah.
For sure. And it took me 6 months to just feel like myself, and that might have been because I was breastfeeding and your hormones are still they're still like in the pregnant phase while you're breastfeeding.
It's the fourth trimester.
Yes.
You're kind of still pregnant, even though you're not.
Yeah.
You don't have the baby inside of you. It's like it's outside of you now, or multiple babies. But
And I do want to caveat that by saying, after you deliver the baby, your stomach is still going to be big. Your uterus is the size of a watermelon. That muscle is still there, even though the baby is outside of you. A lot of people think your body will just collapse back down, and that's not true. It takes at least, about 2 months for it to settle back down. It took you 9 months to make a baby, right? So it's going to take some time.
It's going to take its time, but the whole process is really beautiful, and I think it's just you have this lovely person or people, and it's just like multiple births, and it's just kind of like just allowing yourself to be in the space. I mean, we all know that, you talk about working women, for some, they have to just get right to it.
Yes.
So I think these exercises that you offered really the ability to do it sitting down, right, can be super helpful when you have some people doing different things. But so you recovered from the C-section, and you did these exercises also your recovery.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Everything that I teach, I did while I was recovering.
Yeah,
100%.
that's amazing. And so, and were there any other exercises that you did during the recovery that you would like to offer?
I mean, maintaining, I did try a lot with yoga and stretching and moving my body, getting more into my body versus just moving my muscles, if that makes
Meditation,
sense.
exercise.
Being intentional about my exercises, exactly.
Yeah.
Keeping up with my cardio. I didn't do a lot of cardio before, but 1 or 2 days a week, getting either a walk in, a jog, something that I felt comfortable doing. But I mostly worked out at home. And then I would go to the gym occasionally when I could, if I had someone to watch my son. Like I said, I was breastfeeding and it just got complicated. So what I teach is things that you can do at home. And you've done my class, and there's no equipment in my class because you don't need it. Your body weight is enough.
Yeah. Now, you just said something that's really interesting. You said you didn't do much cardio before. So most of your workouts before having a child were strength training.
Yes.
Strength and resistance
Yes,
training.
building up your muscle mass is very important. Even though there's a misconception of if I lift, I'm going to be big and bulky, but you know what's actually big and bulky? Body fat. Muscles are not bulky. Most of the women that you're picturing are on some kind of extra hormones, usually, and you're not going to look like that at all. You're going to look more like, dare I say, Beyonce than even Serena. Serena has a lot of muscle mass. You're not even going to be that muscular. But building,
she's a professional,
and
athlete.
she's a exactly,
and
she's
a professional
athlete.
And like there is no one like Serena Williams. She's on a level. I think it's safe to say the average person is not Serena Williams.
No.
Yeah,
working out 3 to 4 times a week, I don't think you're going to be that bulky.
But I think I want to bring it up because it's like cardio, I think, and I know we've shifted a lot in understanding that strength and resistance training is really important over cardio, but you actually said, I'm just really going to do this over cardio, right? And preparing for is it safe to say you prepared for your baby?
Definitely. I was very intentional. We were trying. So I was intentional about what I put in my body. I was intentional about my workouts. Yes.
So you focus on strength and resistance training.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. And so it was like 3 or 4 times a week where you were doing strength and resistance training. And what did those look like? So it was just you using the machines, or
so it was a mix.
I know planks, I imagine sometimes. Yeah. I don't know. Like I've taken your workouts. You don't do planks in your workouts, but that's kind of also what's generally done when you're doing resistance training. Is that you're doing some of the things you mentioned,
100%
and everything.
Yeah. So back then I was still post bodybuilding mode. So I had it's called body splits. So like on Monday I do like upper body, Tuesday I do lower body. So I'd split it up during the week. Love a good squat, deadlift, overhead press, and curls. Like if you can't do anything else, I suggest you do those 4 moves because it's going to work your whole body. I would get into machines if I wanted to touch a specific area. I know glutes are huge now.
Yeah.
So doing, the hip thrusts and that kind of thing, I brought those into my regimen, but like squat, deadlift, overhead press, and some curls or something with the tricep. Doing those things are going to get you where you want to go. And adding in the other things it's just icing on the cake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you use those same exercises during your first trimester?
Yes. Yeah.
So
I was teaching. I was still I was pretty normal until the 3rd trimester. The first trimester I was very sleepy. Second trimester is like a honeymoon. Like you get the bump, but you can still move and your spirits are high and you're excited. 3rd trimester I did trail it back. Now during this time I wasn't trying to hit personal records or like do a whole bunch of weight. I was doing enough to challenge myself but not overexert my body. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Because it's also about getting comfortable with having that balance of working yourself but not overworking yourself.
Yes, because you will get lightheaded, you'll get tired, you get more winded easily while you're pregnant.
Right.
Your body's working overtime creating a baby. It's not thinking about you trying to lift some weight right now.
Right.
Put the weight down, girl.
Right. Yeah. So again, being patient with yourself, really
Yes.
connecting with yourself.
Yes.
Does this feel good? If it doesn't feel good, stop.
Exactly.
Uncomfortable, stop. It's
Stop.
okay.
Listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't have to do that extra rep. You're gonna be fine.
No one's gonna know.
Yeah. No one's gonna know.
No one's gonna know.
And everything will be great.
Yes.
And you'll be baby or babies will be healthy.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes.
So you had that whole thing. You had your prenatal workout
Yeah.
that you extended into that first semester and the second semester. And then the third semester, you just no more working out, or you made some alterations.
I still did the moves that were safe for me to do. So if
Okay.
there was anything on my back, I was avoiding that. I was still
Mhm.
squatting. I might not have been squatting as heavy. I was still deadlifting where it was comfortable.
Mhm.
Another thing that happens while you're pregnant is your body gets real loosey-goosey because it's trying to be elastic so that you can
Mhm.
deliver the baby. So you
Right.
have to be very cautious about doing a whole bunch of weight because your joints are not stable.
Right.
And that's why I dialed it back.
Mhm.
My feet were also swollen, so getting into my tennis shoes wasn't fun anymore. So it's just adapting to
Yeah.
what's been dealt to you and
Mhm.
moving forward that way. But yeah, my workouts were a lot shorter in my third trimester, and they were not as strenuous, but I still felt good after. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
So what would you say, sometimes when people lift weights or do anything that moving their body up and down in some type of way, if you're doing deadlifts like this, like because it raises your heart
Yeah.
level, like what would you suggest for pregnant women who do it but they
Yeah.
might feel a little uncomfortable? There's like some tips you can use to have work out the same thing or do the same thing in a healthier way or safer way.
Wear a heart monitor. Talk to your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And know what your range is. A lot of people
Okay.
don't know, oh, my heart needs to stay under 160 beats or whatever it is for your body, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting familiar with your heart range if you're concerned
Mhm.
about it, and taking more breaks,
Mhm.
taking more water breaks, and you're going to be going to the bathroom a lot while you're pregnant anyway. So taking a
Right.
break during the workout, that's
Mhm.
fine too, but just being cognizant of what your range is, keeping your heart monitor on, and just not overdoing it. Listen to your body.
Yeah. And I think you bring up a good thing. It's like the more you can know about your body and how it works before having a child, the
Yes.
better
Yes.
during pregnancy. Because you don't necessarily have to just stop doing things. Just become more aware of, okay, I need my heart rate to stay here and I can do this.
Yeah.
So it's like more of a seamless change of lifestyle. Because I think often it's seen as I have to give up so much now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
when it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. It can really just be like, okay, I need to become more aware of myself, my body, so I can do this
Yes.
safer for me and this baby.
the
So it's just
baby.
more information and more awareness. Yeah.
100%. I'm a big proponent of taking what you already have and adjusting it. I
Mhm.
don't like hard switches. Sometimes women will wait. They'll say, well, I'm going to be pregnant anyway. I'm going to gain this weight. I'll just wait until after I have the baby to lose the weight. And I feel like that's such a disservice to yourself. Not pushing yourself before you have the baby. And labor is labor. I know I didn't deliver my baby, but those contractions are not for play, okay? They are real. And just having the endurance during that, whether you have your baby vaginally or not, will play such a big role in your recovery.
Right.
Because while you're recovering, it's not the time to be thinking, I need to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
You need to be bonding with your baby and giving
Mhm.
your baby all that you have and asking for help
Right.
so that you can still have me time, but not necessarily, I need to lose this weight, more like, I want to be healthy for the baby.
Right. And I love that because it's a couple of things. The breathing exercises that you mentioned is something that, again, it could easily be incorporated in something that can help with labor.
Yes.
Right? But also, like, thinking of it, like, changing your mindset to think of it of, I'm preparing to become a happy, healthy mother
Yes.
of a child.
Yes.
Right? So you're transitioning from it's me
Mm-hmm.
into, or even if you have children, you're going to be a new mother
Yes.
to child. So
Yes.
I'm transitioning. So let me do everything to make sure that I am good,
Yes.
so that I can continue to be good
Yes.
after. So if planning to lose all the weight after, it's weight loss, hormones. It's already can be its own journey, and new motherhood is a journey. So it's like you end up compounding things, and then I think what happens too, from what I've seen and speaking to people, it kind of, you have all of this happening at once. It's very easy to become demoralized,
Yeah.
or just not feel discouraged
Yeah.
and feel like you're not able to reach all your goals and think it's
Yeah.
you or something, when in
Yes.
reality it's just you're just not set up for success, right?
Yeah.
And I think what we're talking about is we want people to be set up for success. You're
Yes.
healthy, you're the most fit that you can be before you have the baby.
Yes.
You know what that is. You know what your healthy numbers are. You know how things impact your body. you anticipate the changes you're going to have throughout the whole process of conception, holding your child, pregnancy, and after. And you can make the shifts and changes that allow you to not let go of things that matter most to you.
Exactly.
But still make sure that you and the baby are healthy.
100%.
I love that. And so I love this information that you're sharing with everybody. You've taken us through, okay, before conception, the thing is strength and resistance training that you're doing. You can hold it through the first and the second trimester, and then just be very mindful during the third trimester.
Yes.
And now we have the fourth trimester.
Yes.
So, like, what are some tips for the fourth trimester?
So I would say prioritizing rest is actually the most important key to the fourth trimester, because your baby has their own sleep schedule. They're new into this world, and they need you to be as alert as possible. So implementing the breathing exercises to help with your stress more than anything, focusing on moving your body but not exerting your body, eating the best foods that you can, and just focusing on rest. I think rest is probably the most important thing in the fourth trimester: recovery and rest. And even the hospital, when they send you home with the packet, it's like sleep when the baby sleeps. I know that's so trite, but it's true, and that's why you need the help, because a lot of moms will think, well, I need to do laundry while the baby's sleeping. It's like, no, you need to rest and get somebody else to do it.
And you need somebody to remind you of that, because I think what I often hear is it's part of the brain, it's part of the hormone brain to kind of like want everything to be in its place and everything. Like it's actually natural. So it's
nesting.
Yeah.
It's literally nesting, where even before you have the baby, there's this frenzy to get everything together, to get the crib together. The baby doesn't care. The baby's gonna be in sleepers. They don't care about none of them bowls or whatever you got.
They don't care about the aesthetic of his room.
You got some milk? Is there something for me to lay? Like, I don't care. Yeah. So focusing on rest, I think, would be key in the fourth trimester.
And this reminds me, because this actually also pairs up with some traditions like older Moroccan traditions and things like that really believe in just nurturing the mother.
Yes.
So you mentioned the faha. They do things like binding, feed them soups.
Yes.
Have the mom resting.
Yes.
The baby stays beside her, but other people doing things to take care of the baby and everything. Now, unfortunately, the average person, as I know of, does not have an entire community helping them after. And it's really one of the tragedies. I think it's one of the tragedies of our society, because childbirth, bringing children to the world, is such a very important, sacred, useful, right? We need more people in the world, and yet we don't really seem to honor the time where mom and child are the most vulnerable and need the most support. That's just kind of the area of our society. I hope to contribute to making better, and I wish we just had more there. So like you talked about, like, having the support, we telling people, knowing about that mommy brain, and just really prioritizing rest. What are some other tips and tricks you would have if they don't have like much of a support system? Like, do you have anything to offer, so that sometimes it feels bad not to have a support system, right? Like I get acknowledged, there's times in my life where I was like, I would love to, but I don't. And so, anything you can offer?
That's kind of tough, because I had help. Like I said, my mom and dad live here. My husband was helpful. His mom lives here. Like, I had a community around me. So I have no idea how women do it, because they do. And there are women, like you said, that don't have support. The best thing I can tell you is definitely to prioritize rest above all. If you had to choose between exercising and getting rest, get rest. If you have to choose, like, make the best choices you can for your situation, because your situation is going to change, right? You're not always going to be in this infant phase. There will be a phase where you can put the baby down and get something done in the house. Like, it's temporary, and keep reminding yourself that it is temporary, and it will not always be like this. But if you have to pick something, prioritize rest.
Yeah, and I actually think that's a good tidbit, because it also is about staying in the present moment of what is necessary right now.
Yes.
You may not have all the support you need, but right now you have this, and you can work what you have. It's making sure that you're good, the baby's good, rest.
Yes.
And then you don't know what's going to happen in the next week, like, so it's just really about staying connected to that present moment.
Exactly.
And using all of the resources you have around you in that moment to make that moment great.
Yes.
Yeah, That's awesome. So you just went through pretty much that 4th trimester, and then we could talk about the 5th trimester. It keeps on going, right? Motherhood is its own journey, right? But what I really love is all of these tips are something that can just be used in perpetuity, even beyond the first 3 years of the baby's life. These are just things that you can incorporate into your lifestyle to maintain a healthy lifestyle.
That's right. Yeah. That's the point.
So I feel like throughout the entire time you've pretty much been giving us tips. And usually when people are on, I ask, okay, 3 to 5 pieces of advice that you would give future mothers. I feel like you've given us so much. So if you don't have to, but if you have something, 3 to 5 pieces of advice that you would give future mothers.
Number 1, take your time. Take your time on this journey. Like I said, it took me 6 months to just feel like myself. It took me a year to start looking how I wanted to look. Take your time. Number 2 is your journey is unique. And your journey could be in motherhood, your journey in fitness. Everything is unique to you. So focus on what's working best for you and not what you think you should be doing. If you can't work out 5 days a week, but you can do 3, do the 3. If you can't get 8 hours of sleep, but you're really good about getting 7 or 6, focus on that. Celebrate your wins, right? Don't be discouraged because it doesn't look how someone else thinks or told you it should look. And my 3rd tip is that you may not even feel like it, but you're doing your best and you're a great mom. There are going to be times where your child frustrates you. You're not going to understand them. You're not going to know what's going on with your body. You are doing your best. The only person that can decide whether you are a good mom or not really is the baby, because you are the baby's mom. No one else can tell you
I love that
you're doing a great job or not, right? Like, I'm not your mom. How do you know? So those are my 3 tips.
Yeah. When you said a 3rd tip, I was like, this is so good, because it's like, I just feel like with all the work that I've done with mothers and families, I think that's the big thing is worrying is like, am I doing this right? And a lot of people love to give you their thoughts. What you could,
those opinions.
I have a ton of opinions. But oh my gosh, I love this. Like, the child is the one that's the best person to tell you if you were being a great mother. Yeah. Because they're actually like imagine they're the client. Yes. They're actually the one, and they can tell you whether the service is good or not.
They're the only one that can write the review.
Right. And it be valid. Everything else is just opinion on what people are imagining is happening. Exactly. So I totally appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Wonderful pieces of advice. And okay, so then the last one is, what do you wish your mother would have told you?
I wish she would have told me that I cannot turn this off. You cannot turn motherhood off. Yeah. I am not with my child right now. My child is at school, but you are constantly thinking about your child in a good way. And I love him. And like I said, I prepared for pregnancy. We wanted him. We planned. I made sure I literally, and I didn't bring this up, I literally rubbed my belly every day, and I made sure I laughed and I felt good because I wanted him to get that oxytocin while I was pregnant.
Love it.
And he's my little ray of sunshine now. He's 4 now at this time, and he's so fun and active and bright-eyed, and everything's fun, but like, I cannot turn it off. Even if I'm away from him, I know he's in good hands. Even when he's with my mom, you can't turn it off.
I love it. And I love that intentionality is like laughing and making sure you have a lot of oxytocin going in your body while you were pregnant. I love the intentionality behind this. This is so good. That is pretty much, those are all the questions. Is there anything else you wanted to offer? I just appreciate you being here on the couch with me and sharing this expertise with future mothers, and also probably some mothers who
if you're not a mom, even if you're not a mom, this advice is useful just in life in general. And I want to thank you for having me and having this platform and helping other women find this, whether they want to have children or not. Like, this is a great safe space for me to express myself. I said some things on here I haven't said before.
I appreciate you sharing it. It was such a rich conversation, and I just appreciate everything that you shared, and I feel like it's going to be such a help to people, because a lot of people don't really have access to people with your expertise. They might have a personal trainer, but not one that is focused on the health and well-being of women postpartum and thoughtful about the whole process. So I appreciate you sharing this wisdom with everybody.
I appreciate you having me.
And you are on Instagram.
Yes.
Workouts by Keeley.
Yes.
And there is a whole athlete. Tell us more. Just tell us a little bit about this whole thing, because I got the little jacket here. I have the leggings. I showed you at the beginning. The texture. I mean, it's very comfortable to be in. And you have compression though.
Yeah. Yes.
Talk
yes.
to us about this compression going on. Yeah.
So this was like a signature collection that I released, and like she said, there is compression. This is a 3-piece set. It's summertime at the time of this recording, so I have a lot of shorts going on. But I intentionally pick pieces that make me feel like $1 million, and I hope you feel good.
No, I love it. I feel great. Everything is just. I love that. I love black, and so the color is just definitely. I'm loving the color. I'm loving the texture. It's the little details. For me. The fact that from afar you couldn't see all of these patterns, but I know it's there, and the feel of everything. Yeah, very thoughtful.
Thank you. I was
see
very
it's representative.
Of me. It was very intentional about
consistent.
this line.
But for the compression though, like how did you design this? What was the thought process behind this?
It was just more what makes me look good and what's gonna make really a mom or any body shape look good.
That's what I'm thinking.
When I try the pieces, it's like, all right, this is not the piece I want. I want to go with something else. Right. But this particularly spoke to me. Like, okay, it's 3 pieces. You can take the jacket off if it's not wintertime, but like making sure it's high waist, full impact bra. I'm not, blessed in that area, but a lot of women are, and you want to make sure the girls are down.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's because I am, and it's hard. It's hard, and I put this on. And I was like, wait, there's nothing like bulking out or anything like that. It fits really well. Yeah. So and I think that's what I also felt about with the leggings, with the compression, because it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, this is cinching things in. I actually feel more inspired to work out.
That was literally okay.
Yes.
So go to Kinetics Wear and read the about page, and I literally say that in the about page is why I created it, because of how it makes me feel.
Yeah. Definitely. Thank you for sharing this, putting all of this out into the world. And yes, all the links are going to be below for Kinetics, for Keeley's Instagram. And thank you everybody for watching, and looking forward to connecting with you again soon.